Thanks, Emmanuel. 2024 didn't really start how Siena wanted it to, with a close loss to Manhattan the other day. And when we all spoke to Coach Jaber this week, the one thing that stood out was the lack of communication his team has had on the court. He said that in practice this week, anytime he said something, he made his team repeat it. Take 5. The whole team repeats take 5 to help them feel more comfortable communicating on the court.
It does, Lee. Rick Cabrera was named the 22nd head coach of Northwestern State at the end of March, and in 2.5 months, he needed to recruit 13 players. When I talked to him this week, he said, I never want to have to do that again. It's been a slow start, 1-7 for this Northwestern State team, but he said what he's preaching to his players is to do the right thing and really establish that culture rather than putting pressure on winning. He said the winning will come.
It's an exciting day here at the Curb for the Belmont Bruins because not only are they starting conference play today, but they're in a new conference. In the offseason, they switched from the Ohio Valley Conference to the Missouri Valley Conference.
We know how important B-Week is around the college basketball world and here at ESPN, but it holds more importance here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Coach Joy Lee McNellis is fighting her 3rd round of cancer right now, and that battle included finishing her last chemotherapy treatment this past Tuesday. Around today, you'll see players wearing these bracelets that say McNellis Strong, and on the other side it says every step of the way.
KK Dean, one of the star point guards for Ole Miss, out early this season with a torn ACL, and we got to talk to Coach O earlier this morning and shoot around, and she said losing your star point guard is like losing a quarterback. It's so crucial.
Well, guys, it was so important for him to shoot that 3 early on in the game because he started off a little bit slow this year. When we talked to Coach Ladner earlier this week, he said that this offseason, Austin Crowley has exceeded every single expectation. He's in the gym early, and he's obsessed with being a great player. Even though he started a little slow offensively, Coach just told him, keep shooting. So for him to get on the board early in this game, that's definitely a confidence booster.
Because their offense is an equal opportunity offense. They feel comfortable with multiple different players being able to take over the game at any point. Already this year, they've had 4 different players have 20-point games.
I just got a chance to talk to Coach Ladner about his team leading by 11 heading into the half. He said he's confident that some guys not performing on the offensive end, like Austin Crowley, they'll be able to bounce back in the second half, but is really encouraged by the way that they've been playing defense because they can't let this Northwestern State team go on another run like they did.
Well, when Coach Leadham inherited this program, they went 0-30 in her first year. And when we talked to Coach this morning, she said it's been a long journey to get where they are today. And she's not just looking about getting a win here or a win there. She's really trying to change the culture within St. Peter's organization. She said things like when Makia Keith needs to bring her baby to practice, she'll put her on her hip, and she'll continue to coach practice just to let everybody know that she's there for them and to really be able to create that community and culture within her program, Emmanuel.
Well, and especially being back in the starting lineup, anytime you riff something, you switch up the starting lineup, things just aren't the same. The chemistry's different. So the fact that she started today, unlike their last game against Old Dominion, they've been able to hang in there with JMU this first half, which is something that they wanted to do because last game they were playing catch-up.
You saw a lot of different players getting involved. And on the Louisiana side of things, we talked to Coach before the match today, and she said, you know, they won in every category except for defense. It's something they need to step up tonight. They got a fast-paced offense. They got to defend on the other side of the net.
Both teams are really at completely different positions right now. Prairie View has the luxury of playing 12 to 13 players, where on Tulane's side of things, they really only have 7 to 9 players they want to see get time on the court right now. They had a couple players suffer some injuries early on this season, so they're having to kind of figure out where everybody fits right now. Some players having to take on more responsibility than they thought they did early on this season.
You told me earlier this week you're never comfortable with a lead. Your team really battled to the end. What can you say about them closing out this game?
Well, it wasn't the prettiest thing in the world.
Coach, this is your only game in the month of December home. You go on a big road stretch, and I know you had a birthday yesterday. Would you say this win is a good birthday gift?
That was a great birthday. In fact, it crossed my mind. I said it's going to ruin my birthday, if we didn't win this thing. But
Coach, you have been in this game a long time. Your first ever win against a ranked opponent, and on a day that means so much more than basketball. What can you say about your team's performance today?
I really and truly think it boils down to one thing, and it's grit.
Today, Tom Davis left everything on the court today. How important is she to this team?
she's truly the heart and soul of our team.
This win was McNellis strong.
It was McNellis strong, but my team made this happen for sure.
20-point game of the year, 5 rebounds. What was working for you today?
My teammates were just getting me the ball, and they were finding me.
How does it feel? Last game of 2022, heading into the new year with your first conference win in the Missouri Valley.
It's a good feeling.
Coach, we talked earlier this week on how this team would respond after a long break. Needless to say, they've responded very strong today. What can you say about your team's performance today?
Vanderbilt is one of the best 8 teams in the SEC. And for them not even to be regarded as one of the first 4 teams out, I just think that whether the committee looked at not having their star player and Liam Robbins affecting what they would do in March, that could be a huge factor. They also don't regard Texas A&M very high. They gave them a 7 seed, a team who was second in the SEC.
Both teams shoot about 30% of their shots from the 3, and Bart Brooks told the team in practice this week that, listen, if your feet are set, if your hips are set, you got to let it rip, because Valpo has been leading the Missouri Valley Conference in attempted threes all year. Kenzie said right now her main focus is finishing up her degree as she plans to graduate next year. But I did talk to her this morning, and she said that after the season is over, she's got a bunch of new music coming out this summer, so you can find that on her Instagram or on Spotify. After Megan's article was posted, she received an enormous amount of support from her coaches and teammates, and she said it really helped spark a conversation about mental illness. If you or somebody you know is struggling, you can head over to the National Alliance of Mental Illness.org. That's NAMI.org for more information.